minutes.
Can you give us a link? You know, share a link. We
Yeah,
want to
sure.
find. We want to find those gems that we have in the can.
I've been sharing this link for a long time now. So I
Yeah.
think it's explaining rholang in the basic way possible. Like, and Dan does a very good job at it. So
Yeah,
for sure, send it.
that what I was missing in the video. I felt like it was too like not beginner friendly sometimes, and especially like in the beginning, there's not. I felt like it should have been more of an introduction into like what is R-chain and what is it special, what can it do and stuff like that. Yeah, I felt like that was missing.
Yeah, that's been a general thing. So
Yeah, I did. This video that Theo sent is 30 minutes long.
Is content with that much
I haven't seen that one. No.
Yeah, we can watch it now. It's like 10 minutes only. So you might actually learn rholang in 10 minutes.
where's the link? Don't see it.
Whether you're building dynamic network models or forecast
Can you share your screen, Mr.? So you can.
graph algorithm.
You have to check Mark's video that you're sharing.
Can you see anything?
Yep, we got it.
Yeah, it's a Mac. I cannot unsee it.
Yeah.
All right. R-chain governance, voting in rholang. Dan Conley and collaborators for fall 2020. So this is
You can
work in
fast forward
progress.
to
I just
2 minutes.
welcome a number of collaborators here.
He's basically showing like
then there's-
voting a tab built on R-chain.
Registered,
But then after 2 minutes, he shows like
and then there's
basics of rholang.
one revlet 0.00001 rev, a little bit of dust, as they say. Then these other
Here?
2 minutes,
addresses
2 minutes, 10
correspond to
seconds.
one of the choices you made is welcome. But suppose you actually wanted to know more. You're not convinced yet that this represents your vote. I'm going to give you a crash course in the row calculus. Row calculus has 6 building blocks. We can put processes in parallel. We've got a process called nil, which just is. And we can, this purple bar with a vertical block lets us take 2 processes and put them in parallel. And we can do that again to get 3 processes in parallel and so on and so on. Okay, then we have these interesting star and at blocks. And the at block allows us to take a process, nil, and make it into a name, at nil. Then we can take the star to turn that back into a process. Star
This is
nil,
what I
make that into a name, at star at
wrote
nil,
as
and so on and
comments.
so on ad nauseum. Not only that, but since we made a process star at nil, we can put that one in parallel with something else, nil. And then now we have nil in parallel with star at nil. We can make a name out of the whole thing by putting an at in front of that. And so on and so on. Okay, then the interesting part, one of the more interesting parts of row calculus is the bit where you send and receive to make communication. Okay, the third block is the send block with the exclamation point. The bit between the parentheses is a process, and the bit on the other side of the exclamation point is a name. So here we have nil in parallel with star at nil. We're sending that to at nil. Then the receive block is the second block. The process goes between the curly braces, and names go between the parens. So I've got a process nil in parallel with, and I'm going to wave my hands just a little bit. leave a blank there. And we're receiving on @nil, and the name we're receiving at, again, I'm waving my hands just a little bit. So something interesting happens when you put these send and receive in parallel. If the names correspond, the name that you're sending to and the name you're receiving from are the same name, and you put these in parallel, you get communication. And what happens is, I'm going to actually show this more clearly. So we have our send block at the top and our receive block at the bottom. And what happens when these two get together is that the receive part goes like this, and the part that was sent gets filled in like that, and this part goes away. And that's what happens in row calculus communication. Did that make sense, Daryl, or anybody?
Makes sense to me.
All right. So that's row calculus communication. And that is your crash course in row calculus. There are 6 blocks. There's 5 ways to make processes, 1 way to make names. So I think this is pretty interesting. The whole thing fits on the front side of a t-shirt. This is what got a lot of people into our chains, that the architecture comes down to this really simple yet powerful row calculus.
Mr. Can you pause? I was talking during this demonstration of the visual programming language. Do you recognize where it's from, like the actual visual language?
You mean the blocks and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
it is
popular,
used in code.org, it is used in Scratch.
yeah, yeah. So that's what he was using to make this demo. Although it's not really a functioning kind of visual editor, so it's not really generating rholang, and it's not like fully functioning. It's not covering all the features. So it would be nice to kind of make it a feature complete, if you know what I mean. So we could actually have like a visual rholang editor.
Yes, I think
mean,
that's,
it's-
we need to add that to the list of things that we want to crowdfund and see if the community wants to us, to complete these things that, that Dan was hoping would get done. He did a lot of work, and he left a good foundation for us. So I definitely think that that's worthy of a crowdfund account.
All right, so rholang,
Should we watch the complete?
Yeah, watch it until it's done, till it ends.
is row calculus plus this and that and the other thing. So let's just pause for a moment to look at the blocks on the top and the characters on the bottom, and boy, they look similar, don't they? All right. So yeah, so the vertical bar, sometimes we put things side by side and sometimes we put them above each other. It doesn't really matter that much. All right, so one of the wrinkles in rholang is this new X and P notation. We observed earlier that the row calculus provides for an infinity of names. That was and so on and so on and so on. So this new construct, what you do is you choose one name, one of those infinity of names that does not occur in any other rholang expression that was ever written down or ever will be written down. So this it's hence unforgeable. No one else can write it down. And you say, well, let's let X stand for that name in P, and that allows us to take this text at the top of the screen with this great big, infinity of names name, and then just call it X at the bottom. But otherwise, it's the same thing. All right, and in the row calculus, we had nil as a basic building block that you can make a process without any other processes to build it from. In rholang, we've also got int, string, bool, and URI expressions or processes too. So URI is like HTTPS or row colon. And there's some system processes. We'll talk about those in a little bit. And there's other ways to build up processes out of processes, tuple, list, map, and set. There's an idiom for win or lose using true and false in the first part of the tuple. You might say size 1, color blue, and so on. One interesting thing is you can have the set 1, 2, and then 3 in parallel with the list 4. So the data structures are pretty rich. All right, I'm not going to tell the whole story of rholang. That'll be for other day, but I will observe that there's a syntax called contract, CXY equals P, and it's short for a persistent receive. We showed you the receive block earlier. There's another wrinkle on that where you have a less than equals instead of less than dash, and it means keep receiving over and over and over. Also, we only showed in row calculus just P1 sent to X, but it's actually polyadic. So you can do P1, P2, P3 sent to X. Likewise, you can receive on multiple. And there's a match construct where you match some process with pattern 1 and so on. All right, so full story on rholangs for another day, but back to voting.
I think
All right,
that,
so this is the same, the code on the right is going to be the same all the time.
yeah, I think that was the whole crash course. It was even less than 10 minutes. It was probably like 7.
That's awesome. We definitely want to include that. I don't know. I'm a little bit afraid that we still need something before this.
Yeah.
Because when he starts, putting in these nils and parallel and stuff, it's like, why is he doing that? I think
Exactly.
He should probably start with available types, like from the get-go. What do we have to work with? Do we have nil? We have like int, we have string, etc. So before he goes into like combining processes together.
Right.
I started with some comments, like general comments, and then some stuff in actual minutes in the other video that was 2 hours long. And I just wrote down that the video contains a lot of good information, but it should be recorded as a tutorial that only has the important parts, and maybe even having it divided into specific sections such as variables and stuff like that. Well, you don't have exactly variables, but you know what I mean. And that it, just like you said, Jim, there should be like a why in the beginning. There's no real introduction that explains what is possible with RChain and why you should learn it and what is the special part about it. And throughout the entire video, there are a lot of annoying sounds, like from Discord, from phones, and that's why I don't see the video as a tutorial. Actually, I see it more like a discussion video where, I mean, if you want to watch a discussion video and learn at the same time, yeah, then it's fine. But just as a tutorial, no, I don't see it. Yeah. And there are some complicated material when you go like an hour in, that might be better to move it to different parts. So you have like this more the easy part where you just have the introduction and why it is good to learn this thing and why you should learn it, and the easy parts that anyone can learn. And then you have a part 2 where it might become a bit more advanced.
Was it the examples of Hanoi Tower too complicated, do you think?
No, is it the one where you take 3 parts and you have the bigger part and smaller parts can only? No, I thought that was a good example. I wrote that later. I don't remember. There were one example I can show it where I thought it was a bit, maybe it should be a part where you go more advanced, but maybe have some more simple examples as well.
Like
at the beginning, yeah.
So you didn't think the rock, paper, scissors was simple?
Yeah, I thought that was simple, but I think that one comes after another example, which is, I think, more advanced, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So maybe we should take the rock, paper, scissors and put that as the first one, as it was a bit more easy to understand, I think, actually. So if we can have a really simple example, starting off with just that after talking about the introduction, then I think you can have the more advanced stuff like in a part 2 or maybe in the end, because having a 2-hour video, I don't think like anyone will start learning and watching the complete 2 hours and just learning it. So if we can have, we can have them divided into sections, that would be better, I think. So I thought like in the beginning of video, like into 1 minute, 20 seconds, I wrote that it could be better to have the introduction part here. What is rdev, rchain, rdev learning, and like answer these types of questions.
Yeah, now we're basically, putting this together, for the boot camp. Okay, and Dan's video definitely comes before this one.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think we're saying we need a video before Dan's one.
It depends how easy we want to make it. If you want to take a complete beginner and making them learn this, then yeah, we could have something before Dan's as well. I think so, yeah.
Hello, Jim. Hi, Mustafa.
Hi, Precious.
Yeah, sorry, I joined late.
Sorry?
I said sorry, I joined in a bit late.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Hey, everybody.
We're talking about the video, the 2-hour-long video that.
Exactly, Mustafa. I think I agree with you. We agree with your point. I think there should be a precursor video that kind of introduces a new member or somebody who is fresh in the system to rchain, rdev, those very common terms, instead of meeting them right, at the heat of it, is what I think. I think you're right with that.
If I go orientation, I guess it would be a good thing to have first.
Yeah, people might not understand why there's so many R's in front of every sentence. Like, what is rdev? How is it different from rgov and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you can take it and making it really simple, taking the most, like, first off, why rchain? What can we do with it? And why, like for a complete beginner, they will ask the question, what is it? Is it a programming language? What is the difference? And and why should we learn it? There are some really good stuff as well here, because I thought, like in the video, there's a lot of interruptions as well, like here a whole minute and stuff like that. But here, this is a really good thing. 6 minutes in, we have information about that it does not execute in a sequential order. And I thought that was a really essential information. Maybe this would be in the first minute, explaining what you can do with this tool. So you can explain that in the beginning. I think that would draw in more attention and making people learn this and seeing the importance as well. But here we have it 6 minutes in. So basically I start like 1 minute at a time, but later I just like thought the whole video in itself, it is mostly the same thing, a discussion video. I don't see it as a tutorial for beginners. I see it as a complementary video. So after having the introduction video that we can create and having the Dan video, then after that we can have this discussion video where people will like hear you discuss about the different topics and seeing it you code in real time. or at the same time.
I have a question about the 6-minute mark where Jim or someone mentions that it does not execute in sequential order. Does it ever mention before that nothing in rholang executes sequentially, or that everything executes in parallel? Because that's kind of the difference between rholang and other programming languages.
It does specify that Jim tells the audience that you can force the tool to execute sequentially, but if you don't, then it will execute in parallel.
Yeah, I think I made that point.
Yeah,
The
I think you did. Yeah,
Maybe it's better to
pretty clearly.
give a comparison between like different other language like Python, right? When you write Python, everything is sequential. You have print
I don't think that
hello,
you
print
do-
hold, and then you have to kind of force threads in order
You-
to run stuff in parallel.
Yeah, you didn't see the video, but I definitely made that point throughout. I mean, you know, the rock, paper, scissors example was all in parallel.
Yeah,
That was all understood.
I think that you made the point. I just think that the point should have like been explained a lot sooner, like in the first 1 minute, explaining what you can do with this tool, and maybe even showing some animations or maybe comparing it to other languages. Sure, yeah, why not? But I think that you made the point very clearly. Like here for about 2 minutes or something like that, it was also questions about variables and stuff like that, which is really good. But this was like, instead of if it was a tutorial, then that the variable thing would have already been explained in like the beginning, but this was more like a discussion. So it's nothing wrong with it. It's just the format of the video that it takes a bit to show every step and waiting for questions and stuff like that. That's why I think that maybe there should be something taking all these important parts, beginner parts, and just making a new one, showing them a bit more in the style that Dan showed. There are some like parts like here 7 minutes, like discussions that I write it as unnecessary discussion, but it might not be unnecessary, but for a beginner, I think there are some minutes that goes to discussing stuff that could be boring for a complete beginner that just wants to learn the basic parts. So I want to make that to note that.
It's good that you're a complete beginner right now, so that you can actually detect those unnecessary discussions, because we cannot. For us, everything is kind of makes sense and everything's clear.
Yeah, they're not unnecessary. They're just like for a beginner that just wants to like try out different stuff, and like let's say I want to try out something and I can't get it to work. Then I just want to look up a tutorial and learn how that thing works, instead of having to look through a 2-hour long video and having to listen through discussions that I don't really have to look at right now because I'm trying to figure out something. Right. So having these important topics shortened down to like different sections, to different maybe videos, tutorials, then I think a lot of more people will watch them, and the ones that watch them will actually want to watch them as well.
Yeah, so we want to focus on, you know, this is a crash course in rholang, and we don't want to delve off topic.
Yeah. The 41 minutes in, I see things that like the explanation for processes and names, and you can send process to names and stuff like that. I thought that one I would want a more in-depth video in like only explaining that part, like with different animations and stuff like that, because I think this this is a bit different than other languages and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so just grasping that can be a bit complicated. I don't think I fully understand it yet.
Yeah, and you know, Dan presented it very well, and
I think so. Yeah. But that's because he uses blocks and stuff like that. It's better, it's easier to understand blocks than like looking at code and at the same time having the discussions and the phones and the Discord ringing. So yeah. 48 minutes plus, there were good examples and specific assignments. I don't remember which this one was. I think this one was the part where you have the different components stacked over, and you I had to make that algorithm to make the small part be on top of a bigger part. I think this was that example. I thought that this one was good. Same with rock, paper, scissors. I think maybe this should be before, like the first example, maybe of the more, like before this one, because I think I thought this one was a bit more simple to understand. But these things I think you have to try out in order to see in the video which one that makes more sense for a beginner. And there are some parts where the video just pauses, not for long, but it does. Also here you have some unnecessary 4 minutes, and then something here that I thought it would be really good with some kind of animations explaining it. No, sorry. This one was that you used this algorithm that you talked about here, and you actually used some animations, kind of animations, that I thought was really good. I can show you. This one, I thought this one was really good, where you show it like this. Maybe you should have done that earlier when you're showing the actual code. Before showing the code, you could have shown that this is what we wanted to do.
Now I got to get the bigger one out from under, so I have to use A as a temporary, and I can get the larger.
This shows the algorithm really good.
Now I just need to move one.
And it's basically impossible to not understand what you're talking about. So whenever you have stuff explaining different algorithms and components, if you can show something like this, it's golden. It's really good. And I also thought that 140 and everything after that might not be important in the video as well. It could be another part or something like that. It felt like it was out of topic or out of the tutorial scope.
By that time, there is risk the students are asleep. by that time, student might be asleep already. So
it depends. I mean, if you have a student that have tested rholang before and have knows what it is all about and stuff like that, then maybe they can watch the entire video without falling asleep. Yeah, but if you are a complete beginner, I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, 2 hours in, it's way too much, even for like a student. I mean, we've been studying for how long, right? And after like an hour of just non-stop lectures, I mean, you can't even process it anymore. I mean, there's too much information at once. So you have to keep those videos short, because people usually have like a small span of attention.
Yeah. The most important part, I think, to take this to the next level, I really think that it is to show what you can do with this compared to other maybe languages or tools. I mean, what is so special about this? One thing is that it runs in parallel. This should be the main, one of the main focuses in the beginning, explaining what you can do. Starting out with coding
No.
directly will not make people stay, I think,
No.
if they haven't
thi-
already heard about it.
I think we also have something in the can that we can use as an introduction where Greg Meredith is, saying the benefits of RChain and rholang. We had a number of different videos from the rchain.coop homepage. Now, I don't know whether the current one would be appropriate or not. I mean, we can look at it. But I know some previous ones would be good. I guess I screwed that up. I don't know if you can hear that, but I have a feeling one of the previous videos from the homepage here would be better. But, this is the sort of an idea of what an introduction to RChain would be in a minute. Hello.
The challenges we are facing on this planet today are unprecedented. The consequences of climate change and environmental pollution and human displacement have now spread to every corner of the globe. And the reality is that these problems have become too big and too complex to solve using existing technologies and institutions. To address them meaningfully, we need something far more radical. Blockchain came along and showed us that software could help establish foundations of trust and transparency. Trust lets us build new systems for exchange and consensus. And those systems let us organize our ideas, our resources, and our values in ways that have never been possible. In principle, the promise of blockchain technology remains pure. Unfortunately, nothing we've built so far has measured up. Early protocols, while groundbreaking, were incomplete. Exhaustive resource requirements and sequential transaction models make current solutions unscalable for global applications and unsustainable in the long run. But there is still a path that leads to a better future. To get there, we need a system that doesn't take shortcuts. A solution that spans software, governance, and economics. A blockchain that fulfills the promise of the technology to tackle our greatest challenges at the speed and scale of modern society. And that's exactly what we've built.
So-
This infographic is nice, but I think in order to attract like developers, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. That's probably why we don't have so many developers, because it kind of focuses maybe a lot too much on the climate change, like for the first like minute or so, and then it goes to like disadvantages of other blockchains and then advantages of our chain. But if we focusing on bootcamp, we should probably not even include climate change for now, like, because and let people focus on the development side.
Yes, I agree. I think we can cut those out. Now, I guess RChain worked with what's his name? Not Eric. The guy in South Africa. I can't think of his name. He's done a lot of videos for us with animation and stuff. So I assume he did this too. And he could, edit one down for us if we wanted to take out the climate change stuff. Just get him to do it for us. But I guess what's the next steps? Then after an introduction, and I don't know, maybe there should be more of an introduction. But then I'm thinking that we have Dan's video, and then we have the next version of the crash course, which I guess most of our you can put it together, right?
Well, I think that the crash course that you're talking about, the 2-hour crash course, I think that
I'm not talking about that course. I'm talking about that material, the meat from that. You just take out the parts that are correct. And then if there's a missing part you need, we'll, try to fill that in. And
I can take that video and shorten it down and taking out the unnecessary parts. Yeah. I'm not 100% if it will through only that become a really good tutorial. I still think that some things can be like sped up through like recording it again. I don't know. We could start with that, like shortening it down through video editing, and then we can see if we're satisfied with that, or if we just want to record everything like from the start. So yeah, let's start with video editing and shortening down.
I have a question. When do we want this like kind of bootcamp material done? What's the timeline?
We don't have a timeline. We don't really have a budget yet. I mean, what I'm, to create this video, this one video, we do it under the rGov umbrella. So rGov will pay Mastava to create the video. And currently, the idea is we take part of the video from the Archain Co-op website, Dan's video, and then the crash course material, so that we have the overview and the math. Now there may be some parts in there that the missing parts that we still have to produce. And I guess as we put these parts together, anything that's missing, we should take care, fine. I mean, there is so much good stuff in the can that we have historically, and a lot of it is, will probably go beyond the initial crash course. Now, I don't know. It could be that that's the wrong approach, but I think it should work. I mean, I think it should be all right as a first, as a prototype in any case.
Yeah. Then let's start with that. I take the video from Archain and maybe if someone can take out, the one who created it will take out the climate change part, and then we take that and put it together with dance, and then I shorten down the 2-hour video and put that all together, and then whilst I'm video editing that one, I can check which things that needs, which parts that are missing or stuff like that. Yeah, we can try that out. And like I said, if we see that it's not enough, that we need to like record a lot of different stuff, maybe it's just better to record it from start. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess whatever it takes. if you want me to redo any parts, let me know, or you can have anybody who's available do, fill in the missing parts.
Yeah, but we can start with the editing. Sure.
I think we should plan out like how the actual like kind of script or material for how we want kind of, if it was a YouTube series, how would it look like? Like what would be the first YouTube video? Like will it be about processes or sense, or so you can
Yeah, but if we're
plan out
gonna
like
do
a bigger
that,
picture?
if we are going to do that, then I think it's kind of hard to divide the video in sections as it is now. So if we want to do that, then I think we have to record everything like from the beginning and take.
Yeah, but at least you can record small videos rather than record a larger one. And you have to record like 5 minutes videos at best.
Yeah, that would be the best. Yeah, that would be
For
really
as long
good
as we have like material, what to focus on this video, what to talk about in which order, and etc. etc.
Hi, sorry, can I say something, please? On the topic of getting materials out of the existing material, that's cutting off the unnecessary parts, like you said, Mustafa. Are there no existing videos, maybe on YouTube, rholang, rdev videos that we can also take parts of to include in this particular material? Because I believe not all parts are actually useless in this particular material that we just watched now.
Yeah,
So how about that?
there were some awesome videos, and I think maybe in the maybe you could ask ask what the best videos are on rholang or whatever in the Discord, in the rchain Discord. I'm not sure I could find them, but I think there may be a couple. There may be something linked to the developer link on the rchain.coop website. I don't know. The stuff seems to get. They try to make improvements, and the website is pretty bad. Unfortunately, part of our job has to be to organize everything better.
So how should we proceed? Or should we take another meeting talking about what Theo said, that we should write down which sections what parts that we want on YouTube, instead of having one big video, having it shortened down to different parts?
I don't know. I'm in favor of completing the first pass of the crash course. Using the co-op.rchain video, and I guess there's no reason you can't cut those parts out. You'll be editing the video anyway. So I mean, it would start with rchain and then go into then there might be something needed to connect the two, but some introduction to Dan's row calculus explanation, and then the material from the existing crash course cut way down to just the essentials.
Yeah.
Well,
so it might be we could maybe then start with the videes that we already have and edit those, and then we can.
Yeah. Well, I think you should do that. I think the rest of us need to find those golden videos that we have in the can to be put into crash courses, of either this one, or the rholang crash course, and maybe the Casper. Now, I don't know if we want to do Casper crash course, but probably want to do a consensus crash course. But it's a little bit premature. I mean, we still have to crowd fund the effort in order to scale up. I mean, right now, I can use the limited funds we have, or we can use the limited funds we have for rdev to give a basic introduction to people coming into that project. Okay, and as soon as possible. Okay, so if you can put that together, and the rest of us can find the other good things, and we can get our website up and get find out what the community is willing to contribute to, and crowdfund this effort, and then make a case for getting matching funds or whatever from the co-op. But the co-op will fund pieces of it.
Yeah.
But the overall effort will be a community project.
So how do we continue? Do we have another meeting?
Well, yeah. I guess the ball is in your court right now, and on the video, and I guess we're running out of an hour here. We didn't discuss other aspects of the rdev cooperation on the website, which right now would be under robot.net. And I think David is, I don't know. There's a lot to be done with the. We want to be crowdfunding a number of activities, and we just got a new one now with that blocks animation. We want to make that live, so that it actually runs rholang. So we have these pieces of it that we want to crowdfund, and it really depends. What are the members willing to support? What do they want? And I know that I'll provide some funding for rdev myself, and I'm hoping that we get some interest from other members. I know I'm going to ask Shutzi, what the Chinese community is likely to fund. And it may turn out that the rholang debugger might be the thing that they fund. But whatever they fund, we're going to need our chain education in order to get the stuff done. So I think so. You're clear on. So you're going to put something together for us, Masta?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the videos together. I don't know how long it will take. I have a busy schedule this week. Maybe maybe in 1-2 weeks I can have it finished, or at least I can in maybe have something to show which you can give feedback upon maybe in 1.5 week or something like that.
All right.
You already
And,
have the timestamps. I don't think it will be a lot of work to kind of cut those things out, since you already have those planned, right? You already know
Yeah,
what
but
to,
I did.
what to
Yeah,
cut
but
out.
there are a lot of noises and stuff like that that just kept happening, and I didn't want to write every minute. So there are a lot of stuff that I didn't put in the notes because yeah, there are small noises and stuff that you have to edit out. So I think it will take longer than just looking at the notes. Otherwise, if just looking at notes, then yeah, I can finish it really fast, of course.
Yeah, I don't think you have to focus so much on making it like production quality, because it will be better if we kind of focus on making a better videos later on. But we have
Yeah.
just information ready.
he's probably
Listen.
right. Is this whole thing is sort of a prototype anyway.
Yeah.
And it's all going to be redone. So we don't have to worry about perfection at this point. We want to put something together and see what's wrong with it, and then make something better.
All right.
Awesome.
Just a quick mention. I was talking to Bill today, and he mentioned rholang 1.1.
Yes.
And I immediately thought there was nothing about rholang 1.1 in any documentation we have. So it would be nice if we kind of upgraded rholang GitHub IO to kind of include that.
Yeah, I mean, I may have missed that, but that's definitely a crowdfund project that we want, is the rholang 1.1. Have you played with the development environment? I mean, it looks like it's very, you have to install Scala, and it seemed pretty complicated to run it. But
I saw a video presentation during community debrief. It was presented, and it was explaining it very well, like the new syntax. So if we can somehow include that also as well in the
definitely bootcamp. We got to collect these links, otherwise we're going to lose them. We're going to forget them.
It's somewhere in community debrief. I'll have to search for it.
Yeah, well, I guess right. The main thing we have to be is disciplined in terms of putting those things together, and maybe we need a different channel, or what channels should we collect these links in? The main co-op, rdev co-op.
Maybe it's better to just have a Google document having the links there and showing it.
Well, I'm not sure we have too many people that won't use Google now, but if we put them in the channel, well, at least we have them somewhere. They should probably be in a Google Doc also. And where they should be is in our notes, right? Document, we have a document. Okay. Let me, I guess we got a couple of links here, which I'll copy. I don't know what they are, but that's our notes, and it's Oh. We all have to take turns scribing because nobody wants to do it, and but so put the links in here. Now, is the where do we put the links to the Dan's video? Did we share it somewhere? Oh,
I just put it in Zoom. I can put it somewhere else.
okay. Well, what did I get here? Is this it?
Yep.
And what's that thing called? Blocky? Okay, because Blocky so wanna we want to crowdfund Blocky.
I really doubt it will be kind of any useful because it's somewhat easier to just write rholang than put kind of move blocks that kind of represent the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will be kind of useful in production, but it's kind of a nice tutorial toy to play around for beginners.
Yeah, I think it would be probably good for kids learning rholang. But
imagine building a smart contract for Archain token using this blocky language.
Okay, so we're going to add Archain.coop video without environment.
Yeah, because people might be thinking like, as they clicking on the right link, it just talks about environment. I just want to learn coding, so we just have to focus on development and not distract people from code.
Okay. I still have a question. Do we need something here? Okay, and And I guess we need to figure on the. Well, you'll have to let me know what time. What it what the cost is in putting that together. I mean, you've done some work in putting together the notes already, which we could pay you for, but we can pay you for a total of what it takes to produce this prototype video.
Exactly. But I can start with a video tomorrow or the day after. Then we can, after that, take another meeting and discuss that. Then I know a bit more about how long it will take and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a regular rdev meeting on Tuesday and Thursday, an hour later than we met today. It would, well, yeah, it would be at this hour, Tuesday and Thursday, and of course we can always meet Wednesday afternoon. If you can always add a meeting during the week, and we. But every week we have 1 o'clock New York today, 2 o'clock Tuesday and Thursday,
Yeah.
and 10 o'clock Saturday, 10 a.m. Saturday, New York.
On Tuesday, the 23rd, there is one R-Chain education and one DApp developers.
Right, that's right. Tuesday morning also, we have the education at 10 a.m. New York.
So if we take the meeting R-Chain education, does that work?
Yeah. It's not being used. So
Yeah, good.
that's tomorrow morning.
I thought about the 23rd, the week after. Then I can then I have the starter with editing and maybe I have something to show. I thought that would be better. Does that work?
Sure, that works.
Will you actually
yeah.
be editing the second video, which is also sped up? Because it maybe it's better to kind of edit the original video.
Then I need someone to send it.
Yeah, sure. Because it might, like, some dialogue might sound weird if it's sped up at like like almost 2 times.
Yeah, that's right. The 2-hour video was included a 1-hour video that was sped up. That's an interesting problem. I don't know if it's worked.
Here's the original. You can probably do some math and figure out where your timestamps lie in this video.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, guys, I need to go, but thanks for the meeting and I'll see you next week.
Okay,
Very
bye.
good.
Have a nice one.
Okay, is there any other business anybody have?
Jim, I have to go
Hey.
as well.
Hey, Precious.
Hey,
Now, what's your name again?
Precious.
What's your Discord?
Sorry.
Precious. Is your Discord Precious?
Yeah, press code. Press code.
Press
Yeah.
code.
Yeah. So I think I was here last week as well.
Yes, I remember, and I know. I just I'll put it together in a minute. It just takes.
Yeah.
I had to
That day
see
you have to go for
exactly.
your colonoscopy.
Uh, uh,
All right. So Jim, please, can I get a document file, like a crash document for rholang or rdev, maybe PDF file or anything.
um,
Is it possible?
no. The so the video we watched today, was that helpful to you from Dan Connolly?
Yeah, it was. It was just that there's some concepts, that I observed. Yeah, but I'll have to rewatch again. I have to rewatch it to understand it properly. I didn't join on time today, so I have to rewatch it.
So you're going. I guess I should probably end. Did you watch the crash course video?
The crash course video. I started, but I have not completed it yet. I'm still watching it.
Okay, but you need some kind of introduction.
Yes. That's why I was able to agree with Mustafa, about his idea on a bit of a better introduction.
Yeah.
I think you did. I think you did a good job on the video.
If you, I do have to go, but
Thank you. Bye.
very good. Check, be sure to navigate around in here. There's some good stuff. See you later.
Bye.